trigger warning, I'm going to be very direct. Parenting techniques did not fail us. They broke us. And no, I'm not saying you're broken, but after working with more than thousands of women in assessment calls, assessing their generational, developmental trauma, even for those who had a happy childhood, even for those who are psychologists and they never learned about this at school, I'm connecting the dots. I'm making them understand that the fact that you're a people-pleasing, self-sacrificing, hyperachieving, perfectioning, controlling victim supermom who's losing your patience, I don't care how often, you're actually transmitting your generational trauma to your kids even when you're not yelling. Just like the psychologist mom I just met earlier this morning. So let's talk about it. There are patterns that I can clearly see that psychologists are not trained at school to recognize. That's why I'm doing my PhD on it. That's why I wrote a book that's coming up today on this topic. Because you need to understand that there are patterns. Even if you had a happy childhood, even if you're not yelling every day, you need to check. Am I being the healthy role model for my kids in every possible situation, especially in the situations that are not going well? When I'm under stress, when I'm exhausted, when there's time pressure. Am I the role model for my kids so that they grow up healthy? And this is not to judge or shame mom. This is not to trigger perfectionism and like you need to be 1000% perfect on a pedestal. Absolutely not. But we need to start looking for what is it in us that's not helping our kids to grow up being the healthy, self-confident individuals who have the empathy and caring, and also they can say no without breaking a sweat. How do we do that? Well, welcome to the next episode of the Zen Supermom podcast. Let's talk about it, shall we? Hi, Supermom. So I'm Alena, a mommy tantrum specialist, meaning a mom who used to yell at my daughter, and I was her first bully because I couldn't manage my emotions. And luckily for my daughter and for all the moms I'm working with, I managed to figure it out. And the method I developed works so well that I'm now even doing a PhD research on that. And I wrote a book that is coming out. I yelled, I cried, I healed. It's available on Amazon all around the world today. So, what's the key point? Not only in the book, because this is not about selling the book. This is, first of all, celebration of all the stories of all the moms, all the Zen supermoms and dads and grandmas and moms-to-be who had the courage to go and look within, look inside, stop blaming the kids, stop relying on parenting techniques that are not working, and start looking inside. What the heck is going on? Because if you've been trying to figure it out, like how to make my kids cooperate more, how to make them listen, and is it about school morning and getting out of the door on time, or is it about bedtime? How do they finally go to bed without coming back 1,000 times asking for water and one more story and blah, 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 blah. How do I make them stop hitting each other overhead and scratching and pinching like fighting cats? Like, how the heck do I do that? Because my nice explanations and calm stuff, like that doesn't work. My kids are too smart for that. That's exactly what the conversation I had earlier this morning with a mom who's a psychologist. I'm not going to share like more details about her specifically because like, first of all, to protect her privacy. And then second of all, the details don't matter that much because the story is always the same. So her, just like me, was sharing, I had a happy childhood. I have no idea where this is coming from because no, my mom didn't even yell at me. So why do I yell at my girls? And I'm even yelling at them maybe once a week. Not even that. And when we started digging in her childhood, she said, well, no, I don't understand how it can be from my childhood because my mom never yelled and my dad maybe snapped once a year. So how is that? How do you make sense out of that? And then I started asking her more questions. So, okay, so your mom didn't yell, but other than that, what was going on at home? Yeah, mom was a people pleaser. She was in a caring profession. She was just like me, psychologist. I'm helping others. I'm putting them first. Mom was a super people pleaser with no boundaries, putting others first. And then I asked her, okay, what do you want for your kids? Well, I want my kids to have like healthy empathy, healthy confidence. I just don't want them to be spoiled and obnoxious. I'm like, aha, isn't this interesting? So did somebody tell you when you were growing up that asking for what you need and putting yourself first was spoiled and obnoxious? Haha, how interesting. Wouldn't that make perfect sense why also you became a psychologist? Because since you were very little, your mom basically trained you how to tiptoe around her emotions and what to do to make her happy, because that was the way how you were getting her attention and approval and appreciation and at least some love. Haha, dots connected. So, for those of you who can do that, step number 1, how to start detangling. I always recommend, I always have like so many free trainings. There's Mommy Tantrum training. There's also this book where you can just read and go through it. And there are also even solutions and exercises on how to start like detangling and repairing. But this is usually the first step. See how far you can get by having this support in digging underneath, because in 100% of the cases, I can tell you it's going back to your childhood. And I don't care if you say, but it's because my kids have ADHD, neurodiverse, I have crazy hormones, it's because I'm single, it's because I have no support system, because I'm an expat mom, it's because I'm physically ill, chronically ill, I have so much like physical pain, that's why I lose it the most often. It's because I was bullied as a kid, it's because I'm super, like I went through some trauma in my childhood and I'm so scared something is going to happen to them, that's why I take care of so much of them. It's because my kids have eating disorder, they are self-harming. I don't want to say like I don't care about what happened to your kids, because obviously that's not true, and I care about like everybody's kids. I'm a mom, I understand, but it's not about your kids. None of that matters. None of that is the reason why you yell. Yes, it makes it more tough, it makes you more stressed and exhausted, you have less sleep and you have less mental space, so you're much more likely to lose it. But that's not the reason. It's a factor that makes it worse, but it's not the reason why you yell at the first place. The reason why you yell is because you grew up not having healthy role models about what are boundaries and what are natural consequences. So you go between the two extremes. You either are too nice, asking 1,000 times nicely, explaining gently, just like I work not only with psychologist moms, but I also have like lots of parenting moms who are like parenting coaches. And so they know all the beautiful scripts. They know all the gentle parenting attachment theory. I had moms who are neuroscientists, who are clinical psychiatrists. They know exactly what to say. So they're trying and they're repeating nicely and the kids are not reacting. And then they snap, and sooner or later, I don't care how frequently, but then you yell. And they're thinking, yeah, but it's not a problem because I yell only like once a month. Okay. What do you teach your kids for 99.99% of the other time? You're teaching them that it's okay to self-sacrifice, be a people-pleasing martyr with no boundaries, putting other people first and then feeling resentful that you're not getting enough back, feeling jealous, judging them for having big emotions because you were never allowed having big emotions yourself when you were a kid. What are you teaching them at the times when you are not yelling? And is that okay? Do you want your kids to grow up with the same generational trauma of feeling not good enough, that you have to be the shy girl, you have to squish and be afraid of creating any drama and conflict, avoiding confrontations? Do you want your kids to grow up that way? It's not just about yelling. And yes, this type of trauma happened to all of us, most of us. Yes, I've never met a person who didn't. If you have a shock trauma on top, I'm very sorry for you. We can also help with that. There are more advanced tools than what psychologists are being taught at school now, because you don't have to attend any therapy or take some whatever pills, antidepressant, anti-anxiety pills for the rest of your life. Absolutely not. You don't have to. But there are ways where we need to start talking about it as it is. That's why I will keep being very direct. Some people will be repelled by it. They already left this podcast episode. They're not listening anymore. So I know I can talk to you directly because you can take it. Because you're fed up. You want to stop wasting your time and precious energy. Because your kids are growing up. You don't have 20 years to be walking to a talk therapy office every week without just doing blah, 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 and having no tools, no results, right? So let's get it done fast. Begin where you can, okay? If you watch the Mommy Tantrum training, or if you like start with some podcast episode that resonates with you, I have a lot of them that go deep to the roots. If you're overwhelmed because we have more than 160 podcast episodes, then reach out to our team at hi@zensupermom.com. or wherever you're listening, whatever platform, send us a message so that we can guide you through what is the specific problem. What was your explanation why you cannot stay calm, or why you cannot be the mom for your kids as you want to be. Send us a message. Let us know briefly what's happening. We will help you get started. The first thing is always detangling what is the root. And it's hardly ever about kids. Kids magnify it, but they just magnify a problem that was already there. So help me help you. I've done it 1,000 times. I didn't even count how many, so it's actually a made up number. It will be more than 1,000 because I've been doing this for years. But this is what helped me get so fast in getting to the root. Get the help, go to the root. Again, this is also a celebration, because this is how I'm hoping this book is going to help more moms get to the root as well. So again, I yelled, I cried, I healed. I want to acknowledge, because that's why I was very careful not to make this like a sales podcast episode. This is a celebration podcast episode, and why I'm mentioning it in connection with like getting to the root, because that's what I'm helping this book is going to do for so many moms, even more so than I could reach in like one-on-one assessment calls. Because this is what every single client ever told me when I meet them after we are finished with them. After just 3 months, they tell me, well, this is the point when it all turned around, when I realized what is the root. That it's not the kids, it's not just my stress. And I connected the dots. Even from my happy childhood, I understood what the heck happened, because that's the first point where finally you get your power back. You stop feeling like helpless, clueless, out of control victim, but you understand like what the heck happened. Not to blame it on our parents, they did the best they could, but you need to start connecting the dots. And that's why I'm so happy, and this book is a celebration, because it was possible only thanks to those moms who were not only brave to actually go and dig back, like what the heck happened to me, but they got so much value, and they saw the ripple effect of their healing, not just on their kids, but on themselves throughout their lives. And even then on the next generations, we had moms whose kids even started putting grandma back in place, right? We had moms who had impact on their workplace. They started doing like talks with their colleagues, with their friends. Like the ripple effect is spreading, and they were so many of them were so brave to do podcast episodes with me. That's why we have like, I didn't even count how many podcast episodes, like interviews of clients, moms who healed we have. The number is growing. And that's what this book is made of. I think like more than half of it is about stories. It's specific examples of moms who were struggling, who felt like, well, this is it for me. I'm at the bottom. Nobody can help me. I did 20 years of therapy. I read every parenting book. I'm the parenting specialist myself. Nothing is working for me. I'm broken. I have no idea where it's coming from because I had a happy childhood. It cannot be. They are sharing all of their stories so beautifully, so openly, with so much courage and so much transparency. It's such a direct, open way, breaking all the taboos about like shaming and judging themselves. And that's why I'm like so grateful. So grateful. And I want you to become part of this movement as well. Finished. We are finished with tolerating blah blah therapy that brings no result. We are finished with all of these fake parenting courses that, yes, it can work maybe sometimes, maybe for some situations, but then your kids grow up 6 months later, they are too smart, it doesn't work. Let's stop wasting your time. The urgency is on your end. Your kids are growing up. How do you want them to feel about themselves when they grow up? When they're adults themselves? How do you want them to become a parent themselves one day? That's who you need to be today. So help me help you. I know this episode is super direct, super intense. Let's take a breath. Sending appreciation to all of the brave moms who shared the story so far. Appreciation to you for having the courage to go there as well and just start getting curious, start digging. Use whatever resource you can. There will be also a free journaling book on my website, alenagomesrodrigues.com, that you can download, you can print out, and you can start doing some exercises yourself so that you start connecting the dots. The first step is to understand what the heck is going on with me. So help me help you get there. Do that first step now. I'm going to see you in the next episode of the Zen Supermom podcast, Supermom, and I wish you all the best. In the meantime, you're doing amazing and your kids are lucky to have you.